Welcome back to Planet Doug. How's my planet this morning? Well, pretty good. Sunny, partially cloudy skies, but really busy right now. I just happened to leave my hotel just as the local school was letting out. So the road outside the school is just total chaos. All the students being picked up, hanging out, piling into bay check and onto their scooters. There's a lot of questions. I always find it interesting that when they want to ask me, what is your name? But somehow in the school system here, they're taught, my name is, as the question. So it's sort of like a fill in the blank test for me. They all shout out, my name is, and what they really mean is, what is your name? But somehow that doesn't get across in the English classes here. So they always say, my name is, and then I reply, my name is Douglas. Where are you from? Canada. And by the time I answer those two questions, they're behind me, and then the next person, I have to answer their questions. So it's a lot of fun. It's a Friday today, but it doesn't feel like a quiet Friday. We'll see what happens as the day progresses. A couple of days ago, I went off on my bike, but I went in that direction, down into the countryside. Really nice ride. I enjoyed that day a lot. Still extremely hot, of course. The sun was out in full almost the whole day. Today it's a little bit more overcast. Kind of a nice change. But today I'm not going out into the countryside. I'm heading into the city. And I've got maybe as many as 3 places in Tanjung Balai that I want to visit today. I'm not sure I'll make it to all of them. I may end up spending more time at one than I expect. So I may end up going to 1, maybe 2, maybe 3. We'll find out as the day progresses. And right here, I kind of have to stop talking because this is the most challenging intersection. Getting across here is never very easy. I just wait until the local scooters or baycheck, they kind of block the traffic for me, and then I just go around them. That was pretty easy, actually. There are often men like directing traffic at those intersections, and I don't know whether they actually make it better or worse, to be honest. But when they're there, they're working very, very hard. A lot of whistling, a lot of waving their arms, a lot of stopping traffic, waving other people through. In a way, I think they cause more chaos than order, but I don't know. They're providing a service, and they're doing it technically for free. They're not paid to do it by the city or anything, but then they get donations from drivers as they go by. They'll hand them 2,000 rupiah for the most part. And so they do that all day long, gather up a bunch of 2,000 rupiah notes, and that will be their day's pay. I admire that. I've seen that all over Sumatra, in fact, where there might be a really rough, dangerous part of a highway or something, and then a bunch of local boys will gather there just to slow down traffic and warn them about the upcoming danger. And they're just doing it sort of as a public service, and then they get a few thousand rupiah from drivers. Or there might be holes, like potholes in the highway system that the local government or transportation ministry hasn't fixed yet. So these people will come from the local villages, bring shovels and whatever tools they have, and fill in the holes themselves, hoping that drivers passing by will toss a few thousand rupiah their way in appreciation for the work they're doing. I'd like that. I'd like to see that kind of initiative. I find it interesting. Of course, again, I can't help it. I have to end up comparing it to what would happen in my own home country of Canada, of course. And if anybody was out on the highway system filling in potholes on their own, they would be stopped immediately. There's just too many insurance, safety, liability issues. You just can't have random people out there filling in potholes. Somebody has an accident, they'll blame it on the poorly repaired pothole and the local government gets sued. So yeah, that sort of stuff. There's just too many regulations, too many liability concerns in Canada. Nobody could ever do that sort of thing. Like, can you imagine a local person just walking out into a busy Toronto intersection and just directing traffic on their own, just doing it on their own initiative? No, it would never happen, but it's a different world here. I find it interesting. Anyway, I suppose I should tell you where it is I'm going, or where I may be going, and to do that I'm going to switch over to Google Maps once again, and I'll show you on Google Maps where I'm going. Here is the city of Tanjung Balai in Sumatra, and down here, sort of to the bottom left, that is the Hotel Malahayati. That is where I just left from on my bicycle. And where I'm going is right here at this point where these two rivers meet. And in fact, this is the place that I'm going to check out this morning, and it is called the Balai Ujung Tanjung. And they translate it into English here as a local history museum. And when I saw that, I was quite surprised, because I didn't even know there was any kind of a museum in Tanjung Balai. But though when I think back, I do remember being down here at the riverfront a few different times, and here at the very end there was some kind of a gate, a wall and a gate, and there seemed to be parking on the other side. And I remember glancing in that direction a couple of times and having a random thought about, oh, I wonder what's behind this fence, what's on the other side of this gate. But I've never taken it any farther than that. And it looks like what is behind this gate is this museum. And if we click on it, we can see that there's a building of some kind. And I don't know for sure that it is a museum. It might be just an older building that has been preserved, sort of a historical site. I honestly don't know a single thing about it. And that, of course, is why I'm going to go. I want to check it out. So if we switch over to satellite view and zoom in on this area, this is the waterfront that I was talking about. Here, there's sort of a riverside park. In the evening when it's cooler, a lot of people hang out here. And you can also hire one of these local boats to take you on tours up and down the river, and I've done that a few times. But here is the gate that I'm talking about. So I've been down here many times, and as I said, I would look off in this direction and see this gate, and I never knew what was on the other side. But here it is. So I guess this is the building here, and it looks like there's sort of a cement wall along the waterfront, some trees, and maybe you can go down to the water here. Maybe there's a little beach area. I have no idea what's here. So basically this is where I'm going. Gonna ride there on my bicycle and then see if I can go inside and check the place out. And since I'm in the neighborhood, depending on what happens here, I don't know how long I will spend there. But then if there's enough time and I have energy, perhaps I'll come out on my bike, go down this road here. This is a fish market for Tanjung Balai, and then I may explore the fish market. This area with all the blue umbrellas, that is the produce market, and I won't be going there today, but I may come through here, just sort of see what's going on at the fish market, cross over the bridge, and then I might go down this road here. And I don't really know what's there. So there's like a little bit of a waterfront area, and I may check this area out as well. And depending on my mood and my energy levels, after looking at this road, this area, I may ride my bike over to this bridge, cross the bridge, and check this out. This is something else that I discovered in Tanjung Balai that I had no idea was here. It looks like there's some kind of a riverside walkway. Honestly, I don't know what it is. Here on satellite view, it looks like just a cement wall, like maybe a flood barrier for the river. But if you zoom in, you start to see little details. Maybe these are benches. Maybe if I click on this, what are we going to see? A playground. This looks like a little bit of a park. And it looks like these are benches along the river. Boats can dock here. Anyway, I spotted this and I'd never seen it before. And so what I thought I might be able to do is go here and walk or ride my bike along this Riverside Walkway. And it looks like it goes quite a distance from the bridge all the way down to here. Stopping in this area, I have no idea what this could be. And then the walkway ends here and I could come out. And then from here, I could ride my bike across this bridge here, which looks like quite interesting. And then from here, it would be a straight shot back to my hotel, the Hotel Malahayati. So that is basically my plan for today, starting here on my bike, ride down to the main road, head down to the waterfront, and then check out this museum, perhaps check out the fish market, and then some other areas, and then check out this Riverside Walkway. So that's what I'm doing today, and now let's go back to me on my bicycle. Hello. So I'm back. Just had a guy on a scooter taking some video of me. Hello. Yeah, it's always a fun time of day to be on the road because this is when all the schools let out for the morning. A lot of students out on their scooters. So yeah, apparently there's a museum here in Tanjung Balai that I've never ever noticed before. So it may or may not be a museum, could be just a historic building. So that's where I'm heading to right now. And I'm actually on my way to a main bridge that goes across the river. Then I turn left to go to the waterfront area. And because I'm heading in this direction, I just happen to be going by my favorite banana smoothie stall. So I think I'm gonna stop there for a smoothie before I get to the museum. Can't resist. Banana smoothie to start the day. This is the way to live. But lately I've been here at the end of the day, though oddly enough, you'd think since this is the beginning of the day, I would be cool and fresh and full of energy, but I don't know, I've never adapted to the heat and humidity of this part of the world. I've never been able to make the switch, so I've basically just ridden my bike like 2-3 kilometers, very casual ride, and I'm sweating, I'm hot, I'm exhausted. the day hasn't even started yet. So good. And I'm only going to have one of them because this is the beginning of the day. I don't deserve 3 smoothies. That comes at the end of a day. Anyway, I'm going to hang out here for a while. I need a fan. I need somebody here fanning me just to get the sweat off my face. Whew. Powered by a banana smoothie. So what I think I'm going to do actually is go across this bridge up ahead just for fun. I don't need to cross it. I need to turn left here, but I just want to go across the bridge, take a look at the river, and then I'll turn around and come back. Hello. From out here in the middle of the bridge, I should be able to look down the river to where this museum is located. I'm out in the middle of the bridge, and yeah, I can see exactly where I'm going now. So there's the river, of course. That's the confluence over there. This is actually a small island. I've never gone out to that island. It's not connected by road or by bridge. The only way to get there is by boat. So I've never been to that island, but right there on the corner, you can see a cement wall. That's the Riverside Park. And then I guess where that building is out in the middle of the water, that's near what's supposed to be a museum. So that's where I'm going. And then over here on the right, those are all those fishing boats. That's where I went a couple of weeks ago. Took a tour on one of those fishing boats and then rode my bike all up the coast here. But yeah, this is where I am. There's the bridge. So I'm just going to be turning around and heading back with the way I came and then heading over there to the museum, see what's going on. just crossing to the other side is not going to be easy. Maybe there's an opening here. All right. A lot of scooter traffic. I'm still struggling with keeping all of my gear in place. Every time I go over a bump, my rear view mirror gets knocked loose and is pointing in the wrong direction. I'm shooting with 3 GoPros again today, of course. And the 2 Hero 9s, they're mounted really solidly. They don't ever go out of position. But my Hero 12 up here, no matter how much I try to tighten the mounting apparatus, it always gets knocked loose. There's just no way to tighten it enough.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? All right, heading towards the waterfront area. I should be starting to smell fish. There's a fish market here. Every time I've come down here, I notice the aroma, fish market aroma, very strong. I just saw a little alleyway over here. I think it might head down to the river. Yeah, man, there was just warning me about the low-hanging roof with all the sharp metal edges. I've hit my head lots of times, but I always get lucky, I guess. I tend to hit my head on flat cement surfaces. I've never actually run into a sharp metal corner. So yeah, here we are. I mentioned that island that I've never been to. That's straight up ahead, I think. I don't know if I can follow the shore of the river here or not. I think so. I just wanted to come down here, get away from the busy road. I've never been.
Where do you go?
Oh, just going to the Sungai.
Oh, see, you want to see?
Yeah, we'll just take video.
Yeah.
Over here, there are some temples.
Where do you come from?
From Canada.
Canada?
Yeah.
Okay. Excuse me. My name is Sabar. And what's your name?
Douglas.
My name is Sabar.
Sabar? Sabar. Nice to meet you, Sabar.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah. Are you a fisherman?
No fisherman.
No?
No fisherman. And you come alone here?
Yeah, alone.
Alone.
Sendiri?
Sendiri?
Yeah, Sendiri. Alone, just one. Yeah. Tourist?
Tourist.
Yeah, I'm just a tourist. Yeah.
And your wife?
Oh, I'm not married.
Not married?
No wife, no children. So,
No children?
No. So, I am a free man. Independent man.
Free man.
Free man. Yeah.
Okay, please.
Yeah, just go take a look.
Please.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So, yeah. Down at the river. I imagine quite a few men will approach me. A lot of them run tour boats here. Like, these don't look like tour boats, but you could rent any of these boats and then they will take you up and down the river. So on the weekends, like Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, I think it's busier down here than during the week. And so you get a lot of tour groups from Kisaran, places like that. Maybe even they come down from Medan. I don't know. That's a long ways to come, but yeah, they take tour groups out on river tours. Yeah, lots of signs still that we're supposed to be leaving the rainy season right now, but you couldn't convince me of that yet. Still raining a lot, especially at night. This is the lane along the Riverside Park. And I think at night it would be bustling. During the day, not very many people here. We'll be passing by some really ornate, very colorful Chinese temples. And then down at the end, there it is, the historical building, the Museum of Tanjung Balai, which I knew nothing about until today. I'm sure I saw the building when I noticed the gate here, but I just assumed, I imagine it was a government office of some kind. There's so many of those in Indonesia. But now I've learned it's actually a kind of museum, and let's see what it's all about. I don't know if there's an entrance fee or anything like that to go in. I don't know if there are displays, you know, information displays. And it looks like they're hosting some kind of a festival. I even smell coffee.
Your name?
My name is Douglas.
I'm from Tanjung Balai.
Tanjung Balai. And you are wearing...
And batik Indonesia. Sir.
Yeah, I've got some beautiful shirts here. They were telling me local batik style. 1, 2, 3, 4. There. Oh, photo.
Take a photo.
I'm from Tanjung Balai.
Satu, dua. Okay.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you, Abilang. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Sir, saya foto, sir. Foto, saya foto, sir. Foto, sir.
Hello.
Tahu, bangga sudah. Bangga saya sudah.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So I'm going to walk over to the water,
Okay.
take a look around.
Ngobrol juga.
Good. A group of local students. Somehow I had the idea they were from outside Tanjung Balai. I came here for the day, but they say they're from here. But so there's the building behind me, and the river. As I said, it was a confluence of two rivers here. This one meets up here with the larger river here. And I don't know what's going on with this boat. First I thought it was some sort of a tourist boat. It doesn't look to be in very good condition, but yeah, they even have a restaurant menu there, but I don't know whether it's open or not. And apparently this is a prayer room, a musalla, or a full mosque, I'm not sure. And then there's the historical building. Sure, okay. Hello.
Halo. Aku sini. Woi, mundur woi. Sini. Woi, Jahira suruh woi, Jahira. Mereng kan dek, mereng. Jira fotoan kami jira. Golap, Dera. Fotokan sama itu. Foto fotokan kok kayak bolo mau fotonya. Sini kok, Beb. Sini kau, woi. Begini aja ya. Golap lah. Oh ya, mana?
Over there? Like that?
Boy, jangan panjang ke sini, boy. 1, 2, 3. Lagi. 1, 2. Lagi lah. Lagi Kak. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Nice to meet you. So they're holding some kind of a festival here the name of it, but I don't really know what it's about, but those are the dates. And yeah, I'm just going to go inside, take a quick look around. Looks like it's open from 10 till 4:30. And they have some traditional clothing on display. Sort of a special seating area there, probably used on special occasions. I assume some community leaders or government officials over the years. And then a mural, I assume, showing the history of this region, of Tanjung Balai in particular. But so far, I'd just be guessing what this building used to be, like when it was originally constructed. It must have some role in the history of Tanjung Balai. That could be the chair right there. That's on display here, the sofa. Some more community leaders. I'm still here hanging out at the Tanjung Balai Museum, and someone was saying it's not actually an older building at all, but maybe built 2 or 3 years ago, which kind of makes sense to me because, as I said, I've been coming to Tanjung Balai for a long time, and I don't remember seeing it before. So maybe it's actually kind of a recent construction, but yeah, as part of the festival that they've got going on, they've also got a coffee stand here, Sakopian coffee, and I got a iced latte. And my coffee expert said he made it with a mocha pot? Ah, mocha pot.
Not machine.
So it's a special coffee, specially made. But yeah, I went for the iced coffee, of course, because it's so hot here. Yeah, it's really nice. But I could have like 5 of those and just drink them down one at a time. Yeah, so I mentioned that there were a number of temples around here, and yeah, there's one of them there. Vihara Triratna, Tanjung Balai. So I just finished my iced latte, and I was having a conversation with the owner of Sakopian. Sakopian, there it is. I already showed you the coffee trailer, and this is the owner right here. Can you introduce yourself? What is your name?
My name is Ali, and I live in Tanjung Balai since I kid, and I start the business Sakopian from February 10. After 2 months.
Yeah, I was asking him how long he's been, whether it was his business or whether he worked for someone else, and he told me, yeah, it was his own business, and he started 2 months ago.
Yes.
So that made me very interested to hear his story. But you said you started being interested in good coffee a long time ago, like back in...
I know coffee 2016.
2016.
Yeah, I know coffee first time, but in that time I nothing to make a business. I just enjoy coffee.
Enjoy coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you said, where did you get the idea to do this, your inspiration?
Idea came everywhere, with my friends, with social media, with the reads, yeah, every day, everything, and inspiration from Java, yeah, this like gerobak kalau Indonesian gerobak, yeah. This is my idea. Yeah.
Yeah, and where did this fancy coffee stall come from?
This is idea from my, and we get build this with my cousins. Yeah, full metal.
So you designed it,
Yes.
and then you and your friend built it yourself.
Yes.
Wow, that's very impressive. So what is the most popular coffee? Like when people come here to order from you, what do they get?
Popular and the best seller is kopi sanger. Sanger is coffee with milk,
Okay.
and this most popular. Yeah, ice hot.
Okay.
Every day so much order sanger, kopi sanger.
Is it grown in Indonesia, this coffee?
Yeah. Most popular in Sumatra, not
Oh.
Java. Java, the people know make coffee, not sanger. Only in Sumatra. And I display the books for everyone to come and not playing smartphone. Only interaction, communication, not just.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that he has some, like a little bookshelf up there, and
Not
then
much.
yeah, just a few books up there. And when I was sitting down, you started playing some blues.
Yes, blues. Blues can everyone relax, so chill, enjoy the coffee, and I don't know what can make atmosphere is good with blues.
Nice. So you're making like a portable cafe atmosphere.
Yeah.
Very cool. Since you started this business, what is the best thing about it? What do you like about this lifestyle?
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I make money, make coffee. When I want a coffee, I just make a coffee and I talk everyone, the different everyone every day, different stories where they come to my coffee shop and we talking.
And what is the most challenging thing?
The challenge, the weather.
The weather.
It's more challenging. We
Yeah.
can hold it when the rainy day. We can hold it so we close.
I said. Got boats going up and down the river out there. You can hear the motor. Very loud. But yeah, when I showed up at his little coffee stall, the first thing he noticed was just how hot I was. I was sweating, and yeah, we were talking about difficulties with the weather here. That's the hardest thing for me, is getting accustomed to the hot weather. Yeah. But anyway, I'm very glad you have this coffee shop here.
Yes, thank you.
It's very, very interesting. I love your idea, bookshelf, playing blues, just sort of creating an outdoor cafe environment.
And communicate with customers.
Yeah, nice. All right. Anyway, thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
So I don't know how many Planet Doug viewers will ever end up in Tanjung Balai, but if you do, you know, look for Sakopian coffee. It's on Instagram.
Yeah,
He has an
Sakopian 2025.
Sakopian 2025. Check him out on Instagram. So, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So I'm just leaving from the museum building there. It's a nice little community center. That whole compound struck me as more of a sort of a community center, a gathering place for people. Looks like they could hold events there, like the festival that's going on right now. And of course, as everyone explained to me, I should come back at night, because at night everybody shows up and there's a lot more food stalls there, serving drinks and snacks and things like that, music playing, kind of a party atmosphere at night, like in the evening, but right now it's pretty quiet. So, spot number 2 that I wanted to check out on my bike is right over here. This is the fish market, the downtown fish market. And I think I'm just going to get off my bike and walk it along the street here and just sort of check things out. And then from here, yeah, I feel like I'm in the mood. I can continue on to that Riverside boardwalk or walkway, if that's what it is. I want to investigate that. So yeah, here's the fish market street. Pretty quiet. And I'm guessing that people come here from out of town that are more like inland. And they come down here to get fresh fish. I remember even, I think coming down here with my GoPros like a couple of years ago, maybe on a previous trip to Tanjung Balai. Yeah, they have like seafood restaurants here. I think they'd be very popular with visitors. Fresh seafood.
Why?
There's the rivers, I should say. Hello. Again, I think middle of the day is not the best time to come here to absorb the atmosphere. I'm sure there'll be a lot more customers early in the morning. Every time I've come down this road, I end up reflecting that this is probably where the town started. This would be the original center of Tanjung Balai, since towns and cities always begin on rivers and oceans. So where people settle first and then the town grows outwards from there. So you can see a lot of these buildings look quite old. Been here a long time. Like a lot of shops like selling hardware, and then a lot of tools for farming as well. Over here, yeah, a lot of chickens and ducks for sale, rabbits, things like that. Hello. See if I can navigate my way across this bridge. So normally when I cross this bridge, I keep going straight. This time, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to stop here and get off the bike and just walk it along this street. I have a vague memory of coming here again years ago and discovering that this whole area is more of a clothing market, and you get a lot of like used clothing here, where you get the huge bundles of donated clothing, gets shipped into Indonesia from around the world, and then it's sold by the pound by wholesalers, and it all gets sorted and washed and cleaned. So a lot of this clothing would come from overseas, and it would be quite inexpensive. I think that's what this market is all about. Hello? Sure? Okay.
Mister,
How are you? I'm fine.
where you come from?
I'm from Canada.
Astro. Leg for Astro. Yes. Legal. Legalitas. Yes. Video. Astro. Ini Astro.
Mister, what's your name?
Astro.
Douglas.
Good. Astro good. Astro. Yes.
Working hard in Tanjung Balai. Yeah, I just took some pictures with a group of men there, and they were saying Astro, so that must be some sort of electrical name, like the local electrical department. They were busy fixing the wiring. I don't really know where I am, but as long as I keep turning left at every corner, that will keep me following the river rather than that drifting away from the river. That's where I want to be. I see so many of these awnings. They're wedding celebrations, and they put up these giant awnings across the entire street. I saw one not far away from my hotel, and I was a little bit worried it was going to turn into a huge karaoke session with loud music day and night. And maybe it's still on its way, but the big party never kicked off. Here's another one just up ahead, but again, it looks like they're shutting down. They got a big load of wood and scaffolding. Looks like they're dismantling the platform. Hi. How are you? My name is Douglas. Okay. Photo? Sure.
Di mana tinggal, di mana?
Saya dari Canada.
Kanada. Kemarin lo ngapain? Jalan-jalan.
Bahasa Inggris no.
No. Saya tidak bisa bicara bahasa Indonesia.
Iya, kurang.
Oke. Bisa bicara Inggris.
Sure. Hey, mister. What a problem? Bah, kasih pembahasan ke siapa tuh, Bah?
Dari Kanada, Wah. And company. And from...
Nama mana?
Dia pula Kanada. You from kamera.
Yeah.
Okay, Mister.
Bah, Bah.
Kanada.
Oke, kasih sini.
One foot.
Ada Bah, apa dia?
Huh? Where?
Ini Mister.
Oh, okay.
Mister luar, Mister.
Salah, weh. Mana
Konten. Tiga ya.
Bagaimana apanya, weh?
Anak.
Apa ya?
Ya guru-guru dingin.
Tidak mengerti. Boleh, thank you. Yang bisa bahasa Inggris.
All right. Oh,
It's alright.
don't know if I can go this way or not.
Ayo, kobas.
Maybe I can go this way. Anyway, bye-bye.
Kamu tinggal kamu. Ini jenis video. Boleh, thank you. Tidak bisa lewat. Tidak bisa lewat. What is your name?
My name is Douglas.
My name is
Douglas.
Douglas. Ayungo. Canada.
From Canada.
Bagi duit Canada, Mister. Foto. Uang Canada bagi Mister. Mister, bagi dolar, Mister.
I don't like. Saya tidak bisa bicara bahasa Indonesia. I don't know what that means.
Give
to my
money. Dolar.
Go to,
Dolar, Mister.
thank you.
Thank you.
Give to my money.
site number 3 for today, which is the bridge. And the bridge will take me to maybe to this walkway alongside the river. I have no idea. This will be a brand new spot to explore here in Tanjung Balai. gone across this bridge quite a few times, but I guess I've never looked to my left. And sure enough, as far as I can tell, yeah, there's some sort of a walkway going the entire length along the river. See what I mean? There's the wall, and it goes all the way down to the end there. Yeah, I had no idea that was there. It looks kind of new. Might be why I don't know about it. The brickwork looks quite new. I love it when I see something like that where like a city government or a district government decided to preserve the waterfront as best they can. I love to see that. I don't know why, it always makes me happy. But I'm gonna have to find a way to turn left and get down. Get back to the river. There's no roads on my left so far. This is near where the ticket office is for the Indo Mall fast ferry. Okay, I think here's the entrance to this neighborhood. I noticed on Google Maps there's also a big futsal, like stadium, I guess you'd call it, or playing ground for futsal. I don't know the name of this neighborhood or this district. Yeah, they built their own speed bumps here out of a rope. Looks like there was another wedding celebration here. Yeah, they're a big deal, these weddings. They set up quite a large stage, and it stays up for quite a few days. My name is Douglas. And here we are. Just enough room to get my bike through. And we're down at a walkway beside the river. Who knew there was such a thing in Tanjung Balai? There's the bridge that I just went over to get down here. And they've got a nice little courtyard here. Bathrooms over there at the end. Though I don't think I want to take too close a look at the bathrooms. But yeah, they just need a couple of trees. That's the key. You need a giant set of trees providing shade. But yeah, here we go. Get to go for a little walk along the river on a riverside boardwalk, basically.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey. Wow, what a surprise. Yeah, there's quite the old boat moored here. A lot of houses built up on stilts across the river there. Swimming spot over there. Yeah, a bunch more over there. Yeah, this is quite the project. I can see exactly what the river looked like before they built this. You can see the houses on my right are exactly like the houses on the other side of the river. And then out on the muddy flats, they sort of built this cement platform. I always like to think about how places are organized, and it'd be interesting to know exactly how this project began, whose idea it was, and they wrote it up and had a budget and submitted it to the city government, and somebody had to pay for it through taxes. But it looks like a lot of spots were broken through so that they could have access to their boats. So they'd have to clear that with the people that live here, right? If anybody docked their boat, and now they put up this cement boardwalk, nobody has access to their boats anymore. And I'm willing to bet that a few people, like right places like this, just, you know, the bricks got smashed over and they had to create an opening in order to get down to their boats. So yeah, not a simple thing to build inside a city, especially when you get a lot of sort of informal settling right by, you know, beside rivers, like, you know, these houses here. I have no idea whether they own that land, have legal rights to it, or whether the city could just do whatever they want here. Ooh. Hello. How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah, look at that. Here's yeah, these houses all along the river. And it's hard to say whether this walkway made things better for them or worse. A lot of benches. I like to see that. That was part of the building plan, was to put benches up. And as always, I think if you came out here at night, you'd find a lot of people walking along. Wouldn't be quite as empty as it is right now in the midday sun. Yeah, but you know, a lot of these families, like in a house like this, they would come to rely on having access to the river. This might even be their bathroom right here. Just sort of a hole in the floor that drops down into the river. Yeah, a lot of these people, they would have had a lot of privacy at the back of their houses, right? Like a house like this. But now that they have the walkway here, they're exposed to anybody that comes walking along. That's something else to consider. I'm down here on the walkway, the third place I wanted to visit today. And I think that seems like a pretty good place to end the video. From here, I'm just getting back out onto the main streets of Tanjung Balai, and I'll be riding back to my hotel. I may have some small adventures along the way. Small adventures are never far away when you're here in Sumatra. But yeah, those are the three places I wanted to check out. And I'm going to end the video here. As always, there should be some photos, maybe some bonus material on the Planet Doug Patreon. Go check that out if you're interested. And after the end credits of this video, we'll probably have a Blue Dot segment where I show Google Maps and show exactly where I did go on this little trip, and a little relive map showing my route on this little thing. And I'll keep the relive running until I get all the way back to my hotel. I'm probably going to go to an ice cream shop and get myself a sundae and a cold drink, and going to relax there for a few minutes, and then from there go back to my hotel. But as far as this video is concerned, I think this is it. Thanks for coming along with me. Another exploratory ride here in Tanjung Balai. Yeah, it was quite interesting. Saw the whole new section of the city that I hadn't seen before. And my favorite part, of course, was my little chat with the young man. He said he was 31 years old, he told me later on. and yeah, who started up his own mobile cafe, an intellectual kind of cafe where he's hoping people will gather. As he explained it to me, he wants people to put their phones away, listen to some good music, read a good book, talk with people hanging out at his mobile cafe. I thought that was really quite interesting. So that's it, shutting down for now, and I'll see you in the next video. Welcome back to the Blue Dot feature, and in the Blue Dot I show you where I went in this video using Google Maps. And of course, if you saw the title of the video, and maybe you even watched the video, you know that I was in Sumatra, which is this large island right here, part of Indonesia. Indonesia stretches all the way out here towards the east. All of these islands here are part of Indonesia. And to the north of Sumatra, you see Malaysia, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Myanmar, China, and then off to the east, we've got the Philippines, and northeast is Taiwan. And then if you start moving towards the west, you've got Sri Lanka and India. So here we are in Sumatra, right in the heart of Southeast Asia. So let's zoom in on Sumatra. Normally there would be a blue dot on the map showing you where I am right here, but for my usual technology problems, I have nothing but technology problems in my life. I can never get the blue dot to show up on Google Maps on my laptop. I don't know why. I've clicked on all the buttons that says, we cannot determine your precise location. Click here to find out more. I click there, I go to the help, I go to the guidelines, I follow all the instructions, and nothing I do ever helps. So basically I have a feature called the blue dot based on the blue dot on Google Maps, but in my case, the blue dot never actually shows up anymore. So we have to zoom in and zoom in and zoom in, and then we get to the town of Tanjung Balai, which is here on the river, and this is where I was during this video. So let's zoom in on Tanjung Balai, get it set up nicely. So there it is. There's the city of Tanjung Balai. As you can see, there are a lot of rivers running through the city, small ones, very big ones. And there's a whole bunch of rivers in here that don't even show up on Google Maps. So there's a lot of water here in this city. And it's a city known for its fishing industry. And there are fishing boats everywhere going up and down the rivers. So down here you see the Hotel Malahayati. That's where I was staying when I shot this video. Things are being slow this morning, so the photo didn't show up, but there it is. There's the Hotel Malahayati. And as I talked about earlier when I did the Google Maps preview, my goal for the day was to visit 3 basic areas. Area number 1 was right here, where there is a museum right on this point of land. There's the museum. And then I also wanted to visit this kind of an overall district. There's a fish market here, then crossing the bridge, and then there's a clothing market, and then there's a residential area here. So that was the second district I wanted to visit. And then finally I wanted to cross this bridge and then look at a Riverside Walkway that stretches along the shore of this river. So that is essentially where I went. So to give more detail, let's go into Google satellite view. Zoom in a little bit closer on my hotel. So I got on my bicycle and I rode down this road here. Very busy on this day, got to the main road. Very challenging intersection right there that I had to cross. And then I rode along this central road of Tanjung Balai until I got down to here. And right around here is where I stopped off for a banana shake, a banana smoothie. So once I had my banana smoothie, then I rode my bicycle out onto this bridge, and I stopped on my bicycle around here just so that I could shoot some video. I shot some video aiming in this direction so that I could show the museum and where I was going to. And once I did that, I turned around, rode my bike back, turned right onto this road, and then I found a little alleyway. I'm not sure exactly where, maybe right here, but I saw an alleyway that was heading down to the river shore. So I followed this alleyway, went out to a dock. Maybe it was this dock here, I'm not sure. And I shot a little bit of video of this island out here and some of the fishing boats. And then I walked my bicycle through this district. There's quite muddy roads all through here. And then when I finally joined up with the actual pavement here, then I got on my bike and I rode the rest of the way along here. We passed by some very beautiful Chinese temples here. There's like 3 of them, I think, in total. And then we made it all the way to here. And this is the gate that leads into the museum compound. So I walked my bike into here, parked my bicycle, and it was a Friday, I guess, and there were a lot of students out, and I met a group of, all kinds of students here, and we took pictures together. And after I took pictures here and then pictures here, I went walking around, exploring this area, looking around. And oddly enough, we can see how old Google satellite pictures can be, because there is a brand new building right here built out over the water. And it's either a mosque or a musalla, a prayer room, and it's built out on stilts over the river. But as you can see, nothing is showing up on Google Maps for satellite view. So yeah, it's kind of interesting that it doesn't show up. So after I walked around and took pictures with a bunch of people, I went into the museum to look around. I was only in there for a few minutes. There weren't a whole lot of displays to check out. And when I came out, I found a mobile coffee stall underneath this tree. And that's where I sat down and had a coffee, and I interviewed the owner of the coffee stall. It was quite an interesting story. A young entrepreneur who had a dream to open his own mobile cafe, and he designed it and built it with his cousin. They welded the whole thing together, and I think he's very happy with what he's doing and with the end result. The only thing he said was the way the motorcycle attached to his coffee stall turned out. It's actually quite heavy because he used so much metal welded together in the construction. And on the rough roads of Tanjung Balai, moving his coffee stall around can be quite challenging, I think. The one thing that really jumped out at me about this place that I don't think I talked about on video was the trees. This huge tree where you see my cursor, and then this very large tree over here. The two of them combined really made this place what it was, because it's like a massive green canopy casting shade over this whole area and then over this area. I see that a lot on temple grounds and older parks, things like that. The trees make the difference. So after I spent some time there, I left. Let's zoom out a little bit. And then I rode my bike along this road out to here, turned the corner, and then I walked my bicycle along here. This is a fish market area, and then a lot of hardware stores, farm implement stores, things like that. It wasn't very busy on that day when I was there, but there are other days when, if you go there early in the morning, you see a lot more people selling dried fish and fresh fish, a lot more customers. But it was quite quiet when I was there. And I finally got to here, then I got back on my bike, and then I rode my bike across this bridge. And then after I crossed the bridge, I did a U-turn here, went down this road, and this is where the used clothing market is. So then I rode my bike along there, and then when I got to about here, I believe, I took a bunch of pictures with some electrical workers. They were repairing some wiring there, so I posed for pictures with them. And then I continued riding my bike, and then I didn't really track where I went exactly, but I went into this residential area, and I kept, instead of going to the right, which took me away from the river, every time I got to an intersection, I would turn left instead. So I kept trying to stay as close to the river as I could. And then somewhere in here, that's where I had a big encounter with a lot of local people. And then we all took pictures together somewhere in here. There's all kinds of narrow lanes and alleyways all through here. And then at some point, I rode my bike all the way through this residential area. That was quite interesting. And then I eventually popped out. I'm not sure how far I went. I'd have to look at my relive plot to find out for sure. But at some point I exited, maybe it was along here, and then I got out to this busy area. Stopped here to adjust my cameras, put all new batteries into my GoPros, and then I crossed over the bridge. And this is where the walkway is, but I couldn't go directly to the walkway. I had to go around this way. And then there was a gate entrance into this community, and then I turned into here. And at the time I talked about how there was a big futsal stadium, and that's it here, Abdina Futsal. And I believe it's this large blue building here. This is the futsal arena. I haven't gone into one of those for a long time. I should do that at some point while I'm here in Tanjung Balai. But I rode my bike here, and then I checked out this courtyard area. And then I turned and just walked my bicycle along this walkway all the way down to the end. And then this is where I ended the video. And after I concluded the video, I still kept recording though. I didn't include any of that video in the main video, but I just kept my GoPros running. And then I rode my bike out to this road, went out here, turned onto this road, followed it all the way downtown to here, which is I don't know if I call it my favorite ice cream shop, but it is the ice cream shop that I'm familiar with. So if I'm in the mood for a bubble milk tea or a soft ice cream, I usually go here, and I spend some time here reviewing my video. And while I was here, I figured out a new technique for mounting my GoPro, and it should be a lot better in the future where it won't get knocked out of alignment quite so easily. I figured out a new system, so that was quite a success for me. And after I had my ice cream, I got back onto this road, road out here. This is past the main park. The Grand Singhi Hotel is right here. And then I continued riding. Let's zoom out a little bit. I get, oh yeah, right to here. And then I turned down this road, joined back up with the main road, and then followed the main road to here, and then back to the Malahayati Hotel. So there you have it, the Blue Dot summary for my little adventure here in Tanjung Balai, going to the museum, going to the fish market, the clothing market, and then to the walkway. So that's it for the Blue Dot, and I hope you enjoyed that, gave you a little bit more insight into where I went during this video. And as always, I will see you in the next Blue Dot feature.